Yes, please join us on stage. Senator Bam Aquino is senator serving a second term, and he is known as the father of the free college law. He's currently chairman of the Senate Committee on Basic Education, and he was also the author of the Go Negosyo Act. Senator Bam is there you are, Mr. Senator. Good morning and welcome to our second session. Senator Bam Aquino. While we're waiting for Senator Gatchalian to join us this morning, maybe we should start with Senator Aquino. Come and join me here. Good morning. So do all of these predictions, when we say that the Filipino has gotten used to not being underserved and not being properly treated as a Filipino citizen, is this true?
Well, so unang-una po, good morning to everyone. Magandang umaga. Good morning, everyone. Morning. It's true that we've come to expect what's not ideal. Pero siguro po sa puso natin, sa mga lingkod bayan na nandito, kailangan sinusulong pa rin natin kung ano yung tama at ano yung dapat. Ganun po kasimple yun, no? Kadalasan po, we're used to having less resources, we're used to having impossible timelines, impossible goals, and we choose to settle. But even if those realities are there, mahalaga na nasa puso pa rin natin kung ano yung tama at ano yung dapat. Kasi when you talk about education, you talk about the foundation of our country. Kung ang educational system po natin magpatuloy na ganito, at alam naman natin kung gaano kalala ang problema natin ngayon sa edukasyon, talagang guguho po ang bayan natin. But all of you here, all of the 700 LGUs of Sinergia, and there are, of course, other LGUs who are also focused on education, lahat po tayo alam natin kung gaano kahalaga yung pundasyon ng edukasyon. At habang inuunti-unti natin yung mga problema, little by little, we try to solve these problems. Let's keep in mind that at the end of the day, ang hinahanap pa rin natin yung isang eskwelahan na hindi kulang yung classroom, mga guro na kayang ituro yung dapat ituro, mga bata na hindi gutom at kayang matuto, may internet access, mga teachers na suportado. You know, we have to keep our eye on that. And we have to believe in our hearts na aabot rin tayo dyan. It's not gonna take 1 year. It's not gonna take 2 years. In fact, we all know we submitted the 10-year National Education Plan a few weeks ago. It will take 10 years to get back to a level where our educational system is acceptable. And that's 3 presidents, by the way. That's the current administration, the next administration, and a little bit of the third administration. It's a 10-year plan for recovery. So alam ko po, sanay tayo na maliit ang pondo, hindi ideal ang sitwasyon, but we have to keep our eye on the goal, which is to get our educational system back on track. At mangyayari lang po yan kung consistent tayo, kung tuloy-tuloy tayo, kung hindi tayo, hindi natin iniiwan o pinapakawalan yung kailangan natin gawin para sa mga bata. No?
Okay, having said that, Senator Bam, yung tema natin ngayon, Carpe Diem, seize the day, kung anong pwedeng gawin ngayon. Sabi mo, there's a 10-year highway to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. What can you do when you say Carpe Diem? What can be done now?
With the educational system?
With the educational system.
So, unang-una po, I'm sure alam po ng mga LGUs dito that we now have the highest budget for education in our history at 1.34 trillion pesos. That's the highest in our history. That hits the prescribed 4% of GDP ng mga international agencies. Unang beses po yan sa ating kasaysayan. Yan po, I wish Senator Win was here because Senator Win, of course, led the charge to get that budget in our GAA for 2026. Paano po nangyari yon? Nangyari po yan dahil nagsabay-sabay yung mga skandalo sa Senado. At nakita ho namin na merong 260 billion pesos na nakalaan para sa flood control. I'll be honest with everyone here. At ziniro po yan ng presidente. We were pushing, of course, for this to be modified, to be corrected by DPWH, to provide a better flood control plan. Pero ziniro po yan ng Malacanang in the middle of the budget process. At syempre po, kami ni Senator Win at nung iba pang mga senador, seize the day kami. We made sure na yung 260 billion na yan, malaking porsyento mapunta sa edukasyon. So we seized the budget actually, not just the day. But, ano po, let me explain. No? So, dahil po dyan, nagkaroon ng dagdag pondo para sa school-based feeding program. It's now at 20 billion pesos. And we included a special provision where LGUs can carve out the budget for your LGU from that national budget kung kayo magpapatakbo ng school-based feeding program ninyo. Wala pa pong guidelines ang DepEd, but that's already in the law. So technically, that's allowed. Palakpakan naman po natin, Senator Win Gatchalian.
Senator Win Gatchalian, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning. Okay.
Ine-explain ko, Win, how we seize the day, how you seize the day sa budget. Kaya lumaki yung budget ng education. So lumaki po yung budget for the school-based feeding program to 20 billion. And we included a provision where LGUs can access that budget. I know marami po sa inyo dahil stunting is probably a foundational issue or one of the main issues we face. Pwede pong makuha yan ng LGU although wala pang guidelines ang DepEd. Na-increase rin po yung classroom building, no? Yung BEFF or Basic Education Facilities Fund. Na-increase rin po yan to 67.8 billion pesos. That's good for anywhere from 25 to 30,000 classrooms for this year. At alam ko po, marami sa inyo, nag-reach out na rin kami, nag-reach out na rin po ang DepEd, na nagpapasabit na sila ng mga proposals. Yung 25 to 30,000 classrooms po na yan ay gawa po ng partnership sa mga local government units. And let me just say na si Ma'am Nene po, who of course I've known for many years, if you remember in my first term, nag-attend rin po ako ng Education Summit, lagi po nilang pinupush nila Prof. Ernie, nila Gov. Migs, nila Ma'am Nene, na yung LGUs are one of the most important players pagdating sa education. At yun po, tumatak sa amin, kaya naglagay po kami ng probisyon na hindi na DPWH lang ang gagawa ng classroom. Ngayon po, in partnership with the LGUs, bubuuin po natin yung 25,000 to 30,000 classrooms na target.
Okay.
Ma'am, ang tanong kasi ni Gov. Migs kanina, kaya ba ng may absorptive capacity ba yung mga LGUs na gawin ito? Kayo po yung magsabi, kaya po ba ninyo gumawa ng classroom sa inyong lugar? Kaya talaga. Kasi si Senator Win, kung hindi maubos yung pera at magamit ng tama, eh baka next year iba na yung budget. No? So, to keep that budget at that level or even higher, kailangan po masimulan ang 25,000 classrooms this year. Yan po yung challenge nating lahat. No?
Okay, Senator Gatchalian, thank you for joining us. Yung sinasabi ni Senator Bam kanina na kayong dalawa ang naging promotor nitong pag-increase ng budget. How difficult was it to do that? And when he was saying Carpe Diem, you seized the day to do that. Paano nyo ginagawa yun?
Mahirap po, no? Because during the budget deliberations, tug of war ho yan talaga. Lahat ng agencies, sasabihin nila, importante sila. Lahat ng agencies magbibigay ng mga projects, activities, programs, lahat yun importante. At alam to ng mga LGU, si Governor Migs, pagdating ng budget, if you talk to different stakeholders or department heads, lahat importante. But matagal na ho kasing naiwanan ng education. No? And hindi ho tayo nagbe-preach ng 4% of GDP na required ng UNESCO. So for the first time in history, ang budget ng education ngayon ang pinakamataas. Nasabi na ho ni Senator Bam kanina, 1.3 trillion pesos for the education sector. That's about 4.3% of our GDP. So in our history, ito po yung pinaka-mataas po. At dito sa loob po ng budget, in-address po natin yung apat na naiwanan in the past. Unang-una yung classrooms, nabanggit nga ni Senator Bam. So nag-allocate tayo about 68 billion pesos. On the average, in the past, mga around 20 billion pesos yun. So times 3 yung ginawa natin. Naglagay rin ho tayo para sa aral program dahil na-shock ho tayo nung lumabas yung PISA. Second to the last ho tayo, reading, math, and science. So itong ARAL program, which is a law right now, kukuha po ng almost close to about 10,000 tutors. So nag-allocate ho tayo ng close to 10 billion pesos po para kumuha yung mga schools natin ng tutors. Naglagay rin ho tayo, nasabi ni Senator Bam kanina, sa feeding program. 1/3 pa rin ho ng ating mga bata ay malnourished, whether stunted or wasted. Kaya naglagay ho tayo ng close to about 20 billion pesos for school-based feeding program. And lastly, textbooks. Base po sa EDCOM, out of the 12 grades, 2 grades lang po ang kumpleto ang textbooks. Alam po ito ng mga superintendents ho natin. Sa ibang lugar, 2:1 ang textbook. 2 estudyante, 1 textbooks. May mga lugar kaming napuntan. I'm sure si Senator Bam sa pag-ikot, 3:1. No? 3 bata, 1 textbook. So this year, naglagay ito tayo ng close to about 20 billion pesos para 1:1 na po ang textbooks sa mga bata ho sa buong Pilipinas.
That's already being implemented? Ginagawa na
That's
po yun?
in the 2026 budget. Among others, no, papasalamat po ako sa Senado dahil sinuportahan nila yung advokasya natin sa edukasyon. Of course, si Senator Bam and I, we work very hard para po malagyan ng malaking pondo ang education sector dahil nga naghahabol tayo. So about 20% of our budget, about 22% of our budget right now pupunta ho sa education sector. And ang importante next step will be paano gastusin. No? 1.3 trillion is hindi maliit hong pondo yan. Kaya maraming innovations rin linagay si Senator Bam and also the Senate para matap natin yung potential ng LGUs. Importante, nag-umpisa na ho ng Department of Education. Last week, nakita ko may signing no, with the governors. So magda-download ho sila ng pondo sa mga governors. Kahapon po, kausap ko ilan sa mga officials ng DepEd. Magda-download na rin ho sila sa cities no, para po ang cities makakatuwang nila pag co-construct. So ibig sabihin, ang LGUs ngayon ay pwede nang mag-construct ng classrooms. Ang pondo manggagaling po sa Department of Education.
Senator, to interrupt, paano ho tayo makakasiguro na hindi ito mapupunta sa parang DPWH scandal at mawala lahat itong perang ina-allocate?
Actually,
ninyo?
3 nakikita kong complication dito, Senator Bam. As I consult mga LGU, ako dati po ako mayor, kaya alam ko rin yung dynamics. Unang-una, politika. No? Sana sa mga governors at congressman at mga mayors, isatabi muna natin yung politika. Kasi pag binigyan si governor, kalaban ni mayor, baka hindi bigyan si mayor. Di ba ho?
Mukhang marami
Kahit na kulang ang classroom doon, hindi ho bibigyan. No?
Yeah.
So sana let's rise above politics. No? Huwag muna natin lagay yung politika. Kahit kalaban mo si mayor, kahit talagang nagmumurahan kayo sa election, pero kulang classroom niya, bigyan natin ng classroom. Di ba? Kasi kung hindi, kawawa po yung bata. No? Pangalawa, corruption. Dati ang corruption, nasa national agency, baka pumunta naman sa local government units. No? So, importante rin na ang ating mga local government units to rise above corruption. At siguraduhin rin natin yung mga stakeholders ng ating mga education sectors on the ground, bantayan natin yung mga constructions ng local government units. So yung mga superintendents natin dito, mga principals natin, kung alam nyo may construction doon, alamin natin kung magkano, kailan matatapos, sino contractor, at siguraduhin natin every peso counts. No? Dahil nga, binibigyan na natin ng kapangarihan ang local government units mag-construct. At pangatlo, ito, pakiusap ko sa ating mga local government units, tulungan ang national sa pagbili ng lupa, whether expropriation or whether direct purchase, dahil hindi na ho kaya ng national. Napag-usapan namin ni Senator Bam to during the budget dahil ang lupa ho, una-una complicated bumili. No? Complicated ho i-transfer sa national government. Mas mabilis po pag local government ang mag-expropriate o bibili. So ang sinuggest ho natin sa Department of Education, na national magko-construct ng classroom pero local na bibili ng lupa, no? Para ma-transfer nyo kaagad sa inyong local government units. Dahil hindi ho pwede mag-construct ng classroom kung hindi ho na-transfer yung lupa sa local government unit. So, ang pakiusap ko sa mga LGUs na kasama natin ngayon, magpursigi tayo bumili ng lupa, whether i-expropriate natin or direct buying tayo, para mabilis po yung construction ng mga pasilidad ho natin this year.
Matanong lang, Senators, kayo dalawa, maganda yung salita na leave politics aside or put politics aside. Is that possible among politicians?
For education, kailangan, no? For education, kailangan. Let me just add to what Senator Win said, kasi mahalaga po ito. Apart from the three things na binanggit po ni Senator Win, our committee, we've committed to monitor the rollout of the classroom budget for the whole year. We will have a hearing again, middle of the year. We will have another hearing at the end of the year. Aalamin natin anong modality ng DepEd yung talagang gumagana. There are 3 modalities now. DPWH, and ang target nila is the 3,000 classrooms na backlog nila. So they're not accessing the 2026 budget, no? Galing na po ito kay Secretary Dizon. They're accessing the previous budgets. So kumusta yung kanilang takbo? Kasi po, for 2025, ang nabuo lang ng DPWH ay 99 classrooms. So our national output for 2025 is 99. Our gap is 166,000. Diyan po nagsimula, when we had the hearing last October, yung push to really move it to the LGUs and have the LGUs build because the national agencies are having a difficult time. So ngayon po na bago na ang management ng DPWH, they've committed to fulfill their backlog of 3,000 classrooms. Itong 67.8 billion, largely this will be for LGUs, governors and mayors. Ang target po niyan ay 25,000 classrooms. At yan po, magagawa lang natin kung sabay-sabay tayong lahat gumagawa. Ang challenge po sa DepEd ngayon ay ma-download sa inyo yung pera by March para by summertime, nagsisimula na po kayong gumawa. Kung matagal po yung pag-download, rainy season na po yan, mahirap na pong gumawa. Yung third modality, and we had a hearing about this the other week, is the PPP. Gagawin ulit nila yung PPP, and they want to start this late this year or early next year. The target for that is initially 16,000 classrooms and then eventually another 30,000 classrooms. So imo-monitor po namin ano yung pinakamabilis. At yung pinakamabilis, yun po yung popondohan ni Senator Win in 2027. Yung pinaka-effective. Now, right now, I don't know kung ano yung magiging pinaka-effective. We have to really monitor and see. Kasama po sa monitoring natin yung presyo. And when the cap bill becomes law, we intend to put a price ceiling. I think this is the best way to make sure na tapat itong paggawa po natin ng classroom. May price ceiling, yung presyo per square meter or per classroom para hindi po magkakalayo yung presyo natin. Last year, nung nag-hearing po kami, ang presyohan po ng DPWH nasa 3.5 to 4.5 million pesos per classroom. Ang LGUs nasa 1.5 to 2 million pesos per classroom. Ang ibang mga NGO nasa 1.2, 1.3 million pesos per classroom. Ang hirap naman po na ang classroom natin pwedeng times 2 o times 3 yung presyo. So, ito po, binabanggit ko na, we will monitor the price of our classrooms. And we are recommending to DepEd na merong price ceiling per classroom para hindi magkakaiba yung presyuhan ng classroom natin. Now, meron pong variance yan na 20% for logistics. Kasi alam ko po, yung ibang mga LGU po dito, malalayo talaga yung lugar, may hauling expense, naiintindihan po namin yan. So we included a provision for logistics na 20%. Pero roughly, dapat po, kung apples to apples ang usapin natin, pare-pareho dapat or hindi magkakalayo yung presyuhan po natin ng mga classroom. And that's our check and balance po dito po sa proyektong ito.
Senator, ito ho bang plano nito, these modalities that you're proposing? Hindi ho ba in the past, ganun din ang sinasabi sa atin, taon-taon may classroom shortage, taon-taon sinasabing mag-rebuild, if-follow up nila para sufficient yung, adequate yung number of classrooms, pero hindi nangyayari.
So ano po, to be clear, during the Aquino administration And the first part of the Duterte administration, we were doing PPPs. No? And the PPPs were successful enough. Alam ko po, hindi naman 100% successful, pero largely successful enough. And we closed the classroom gap to less than 10,000 classrooms. From 2018 to 2025, only DPWH can build classrooms using the national budget. So nag-iba po yung paraan. Meron po ba ditong nakatanggap ng pera mula sa national government in the last 7 years? Wala ho. Sariling sikap po, SEF yung gamit po ninyo kung gumagawa po kayo ng classroom. So Ma'am Cheche, ito pong modality na sa LGU dadaan, this hasn't been done in the last 7 years. And in that 7 years, dun rin po lumaki yung classroom gap natin. From less than 10,000 in 2018 to 166,000 by 2025. Kaya ito pong modality na LGU po yung gagawa, bago po ito in that sense. Yung PPP, we haven't done this in the last 7 years also. Yung huling beses po, yung huling taon ng PPP was about 2018 or 2019, Senator Win, tama no? Aquino administration, pero nag-carry over po yan to the first half ng Duterte administration. Natapos po yan about 2018. So ito pong tatlong modality, bago po ito. Previous to this, it was only DPWH ang gumagawa, and their classroom building output has been very low. In fact, it's been going down for the last 7 years.
Okay, that's good. Balik ho tayo dun sa point nyo, Senator Gatchalian. Sabi nyo, put politics aside. Realistically, posible ba yan sa mga politiko?
Realistically, kung makokonsensya yung mga politiko, ma'am. Pero maraming politiko walang konsensya, yun ang problema. No? So sana ngayon makonsensya na dahil para sa bata ni Manhuto. Naniniwala naman ako, sana, naniniwala naman ako deep inside ng isang politiko ay may konsensya ho siya para sa bata. No? So, kasi marami ho kaming, ito naman ay mga informal na kwento ho sa akin at reports na after nagkaroon ng mga downloading, marami pong on the ground, maraming mga mayors, mga municipal mayors nagrereklamo dahil hindi raw sila kakampi ni governor o hindi sila kakampi ni congressman, hindi ho sila nabibigyan ng suporta. So, but this again, no, ito ay ginawa ho ng Senado, ginawa po ng Kongreso para ma-address po yung classroom shortage ho natin. Hindi ho ito ginawa para ma-address yung political gains ng politiko. So, ang pakiusap ko nga at sana makonsensya ho yung mga politiko, pagdating ho sa allocation ng classroom, maging patas at based on need. Kung kailangan ho talaga ng isang lugar, then tulungan natin. No? That's the only way ho ma-address natin equally yung mga problema ho natin pagdating sa classrooms. So, your question is realistically pwede? Tingin ko naman pwede. No?
Pwede.
Tingin ko pwede naman.
Okay. Yung the concept of carpe diem, ano? Dito sa kung makonsensya itong mga politikong ito, anong pwedeng method of carpe diem para ma-achieve yung konsensyang pagbutihin ang...
Well, ako kasi, yung walang konsyensya, wala talaga konsyensya yan, di ba? Mahirap na po dyan. But we've been working with DepEd, and unfortunately, Secretary Sani is not here. Pero we had a similar gathering po with LCP, League of Cities, and in that gathering, may 240 mayors na pumunta. Like within 3 days, nabuo po yon. We were expecting only 80 mayors to come. Naging 240 mayors po yan. Si LCP President Mayor Zamora was the one who hosted us. At doon po, finlash ni Secretary Angara yung QR code kung saan yung bawat LGU makukuha na po yung requirements at pwede sila mag-submit directly to DepEd. So hindi na ho kayo kailangan dumaan kay congressman or dumaan kay governor to be able to submit your proposals to DepEd. Our staff is here. We have a copy of the materials of DepEd. Pwede nyo pong kunin sa kanila. Sino ho dito, alam yung pinag-uusapan ko, yung mga materialis ng DepEd, ilan pa lang? Ang kukonti pa lang, oh. So yung karamihan po, maybe we can request the organizers to flash the QR code. Nandun na po yan. Gawa to ng DepEd and we were really commending them. hanggang board resolution template, meron po sila. Kailangan na lang po fill in the blanks. But you need to submit this ASAP. Yung isa pong hinahanap nila is kung ready na po kayo o hindi. Kung may lupa ba kayo o hindi. Kasi sa totoo lang po, the budget is there. Ang tanong, meron ba kayong buildable space? Yes, okay. Meron ba kayong shovel ready ba yan? Hindi ko rin alam kung ano ibig sabihin nun last month, pero ngayon alam ko na. Ibig sabihin po ng shovel ready, pag na-download po yung pera, makakapaggawa ba kayo within a short span of time, no? So, we'll send this to everyone. Ang suggestion ko po, kanya-kanya tayong mag-submit sa DepEd, no? They have office there under ASEC Bartolome. Yun yung kanilang Office for Infrastructure. Handa po silang tumanggap. In fact, they've been asking us to support and spread the word to more mayors na mag-submit na. Yung first tranche po, I think is finished already. May second and third and fourth tranche pa po yan this year. Habulin po natin yan. Now, let me also explain. This is the first time na 68 billion pesos yung pondo. In previous years po, yung target was only about 4,000 or 5,000 classrooms. Our target now is 5 times. No? So, and ang pangarap po namin ni Senator Win at marami kaming kasama sa Senado is to fund education this way for the next 10 years. So, kumbaga po, ang goal namin is for next year, of course, pressure to kay Senator Win, ang goal natin is ganito pa rin kataas ang edukasyon next year. Okay? And kailangan ganito siya kataas for 6 to 8 years just to be able to resolve our problems in stunting, classrooms, teacher support. So next year po, if all goes well, dapat 68 billion pa rin yan and more.
68 million.
Billion.
Billion.
Billion. That's how much we're spending now. So, ibig ko sabihin nun, kung hindi ho kayo makasakay sa bus ngayong taon kasi hindi pa kayo handa, dapat next year, ready na kayo. At kung ang total na kulang po ninyo, 30 classrooms, dapat this year, kung makakuha kayo ng 5 o ng 10, next year, dapat may 5 o 10 pa rin po yan hanggang mapunuan ang kakulangan po natin. So, ito po yung sinasabi ko na consistency. Kailangan consistent po tayo dito. At ito pong push for education, ito yung hangarin po namin. And to be fair, ma'am, sa politika, we got support from all of our colleagues. Diba? No? Lahat ng political colors po in the Senate, lahat po kami nag-agree na ang edukasyon kailangan protektahan, kailangan i-prioritize.
That sounds like good news, ano? Yung now that we are on the good news side, ano po yung mga positive developments na meron tayo sa ating bayan ngayon despite the crisis that we are in? Can you point out as good news?
Well, itong malaking education budget, for me, pinakamagandang balita, lumabas out of this, itong nakita nating flood control na issue dahil matagal na talagang pinaglalaban ng education sector na magkaroon ng malaking budget para mahabol natin yung pagkukulang natin sa education sector. At hindi lang to sa basic education. Nagdagdag rin ho tayo ng pondo para po sa mga facilities, sa mga SUCs. May pondo rin para sa free higher education. At yung utang, no, almost 12 billion pesos sa mga SUCs natin sa free higher education na bayaran na. Meron din tayong for free higher education, including yung TES na pondo, tumaas rin to around 60 billion. So, malaki po ang itinaas na pondo sa iba't ibang components ng education sector, from basic education to higher education, even TechVoc, tinaasan din po. But on top of that, ang isa pang magandang balita sa loob ng budget, pati ang budget ng health, lumaki rin po. No? The highest in history. So makikita ho natin this year, full implementation po ng zero balance billing sa lahat po ng government hospitals at naglagay rin ho tayo ng subsidy para sa local government hospitals para zero balance billing na rin ho sila. Ang PhilHealth po, naglagay po ang gobyerno ng close to about 120 billion pesos para po mahabol yung mga pangangailangan natin sa PhilHealth. No? Dahil 60 billion ang kailangan for this year at ibinalik po in another 60 billion para makumpleto po yung pagkukulang natin sa PhilHealth. So ang ibig sabihin, pagdating sa healthcare, merong option sa zero balance billing, merong option sa PhilHealth, may option rin sa medical assistance. So ang mga kababayan natin, marami silang option para makakuha ng libreng paggagamot. So ito yung dalawang components sa budget for 2026 na masasabi kong good news. No? Health and education. Of course, marami pang iba, but ito yung pinakamalaking component na tumaas sa loob ng 2026 budget.
Mabalik lang po ako, Mr. Senator, dun sa tertiary education, yung fund. There's a study that says it has gone down from 71% to 31% because it has been skewed in favor of the wealthier families.
So I'll explain that, Ma'am Cheche. When we made the law, no, at binuo po natin yung batas na yan around 2016, we included a priority na dapat yung 4-piece families yung uunahin. Unfortunately, through the past few years, yung implementation po ng CHED, hindi ho naging priority ang 4-piece families. But we've corrected that already in this GAA. So nilagay po namin special provision na kailangan unahin yung 4-piece families. But I want to correct a misconception. Hindi naman po ibig sabihin na dahil hindi nabigyan yung 4-piece families, binigay po sa mayayaman yung perang yon. Because if you look at our SUCs, 90%, 95% ng mga estudyante sa SUC, except for UP, because UP is an outlier, 95% po dyan nangangailangan ng tulong. So, yung wealthier families, that's correct relatively dun sa mga anak ng 4-piece. But yung mga 4-piece po kasi is not in the millions. That's just in the hundreds of thousands. So they should be prioritized. Pero yung nabigyan ng tulong are above the 4-piece, pero di mo naman po pwedeng sabihin na mayayaman. So yes, they are wealthier than the 4-piece families, but by no means are they wealthy. And marami po sa mga natutulungan sa SUC, marami ho dyan, mga anak rin po natin, or mga kilala po nating mga nagtatrabaho rin sa gobyerno, minimum wage earners, they're not 4-piece families, but they need the help para makapagtapos. At nais ko rin pong sabihin, our completion rate for our tertiary is the highest in Southeast Asia. We have a 70% completion rate. That's the highest in Southeast Asia. And that's because libre ang kolehiyo sa Pilipinas. If you look at the EDCOM report, there's probably only one indicator, na good indicator. And that's the fact na 7 out of 10 who go to our public educational tertiary system are able to finish. 70% po yan. That rose from 25%. Before the law was passed, it's now at 70%. So marami pong natutulungan dyan. But you're correct, Ma'am Cheche, hindi nabigyan ng tamang pansin yung mga anak ng 4-piece. And we've corrected that already in the budget.
That's good news. Senator?
Doon, meron ho kayo kasing prioritization under the law. At na-misinterpret po ng UNIFAS board yung prioritization. So na-correct na ho yan in the budget. Tama ho kayo, Ma'am Cheche, na over the years bumaba po yung bilang ng mga estudyante na nanggagaling po sa listahanan or 4-piece. So na-correct na ho yan. Ngayon tumataas na. I think about 30% ng pamilya ay 30% ng TS, yung tertiary education subsidy, ay nanggagaling na ngayon sa 4-piece at listahanan na family. So na-correct na ho yun. Tama ho kayo, bumalik siya. Ngayon tumataas na ulit siya.
Okay, that's good to know. Yung itong poorest of the poor na inaabot natin, the reference point here is 4-piece. Yun ang pinakamababa.
When we define po sa batas na pinakamahihirap, we usually refer to the list of the SWD na 4-piece. That's what they mean po.
Okay. When we speak of the results of the PES tests, no, our scores, lumalabas na pinakamababa tayo or among the lowest in all of the rankings. Is there any good news there?
Isa sa mga good news na nakita ko, pero preliminary pa lang to from DepEd, is when they implemented yung ARAL program or the ARAL law, lalo na for Key Stage 1, kinder to grade 3, may improvements in terms of literacy and numeracy. But this is only among very small group of schools. So ang strategy right now, dahil nakita nila maganda yung improvement, dumami yung mga grade ready in that study. Iro-roll out na nila ngayon massively. That's why we allocated close to about 10 billion para kumuha sila ng mas maraming tutors. Because yung the way they implemented itong intervention is by getting tutors, at kung na-identify nila mga batang kailangan ng tulong sa literacy and numeracy, dito pumapasok itong mga tutors at dito pumapasok yung intervention. Pero ang important kayo, mas-scale up, mapalaki. So that's why this 2026, meron ng pondo para i-scale up to. So this is good news in a sense na admittedly, talagang problema ho tayo sa reading and math. No? Kita na natin in many of the assessments. PISA, World Bank, marami ho. Nakita na rin natin maganda yung results ng aral intervention. So ngayon, ang strategy is to scale it up.
Okay. Senator.
Yeah, ang good news po, hintayin niyo po yung talk ni Governor Defensor. Okay? And that's after us, if I'm not mistaken. Because dun po, ikukwento ang Sinergia proof of concept. And if I'm not mistaken, they were able to raise literacy from 30% to 90%. Correct, di ba? And that's in 1 year? In 2 years? In 1 year. 30% to 90% literacy in 1 year. That's the proof of concept ng Iloilo Province and Sinergia. And later, the results will be given to us, the methodology will be given to us, and I also intend, in our next hearing sa Senado, gagawin po naming state witness, joke lang, gagawin po naming resource person si Governor Defensor at yung Sinergia Project para makwento po sa taong bayan na merong mga solusyon dito po sa mga problema natin. And as Sinergia has always said, it boils down to accountability of our local government officials. So, hintayin po natin yung good news na yan. And apart from the ARAL program, DepEd, Sinergia, and the LGU officials, I think, will be in a good position to scale this up in the following years.
Okay, going back to Carpe Diem, what can we, all of us here, do? What Carpe Diem can we do at this point in our history?
Yung third year report ng EDCOM, Ma'am Cheche, ang title is Turning Point. At dahil the first 2 years ng EDCOM, na-identify natin yung mga problema, nagbigay tayo ng solution, ngayon it's time for implementation. And kasama sa implementation, ang mga stakeholders natin sa school. Kaya babalik tayo sa basics. Ito, alam ng ating mga stakeholders, takes a village to raise a child. Dapat po talaga magtulong-tulong. But this year will be a banner year because may pondong inilagay. Ang importante lang ngayon, yung pondo na yun ay pumunta sa mga pangangailangan natin. Hindi mawaldas, hindi makorap, hindi mapolitika. At yun, kailangan rin natin ang tulong ng bawat isa na maging mas aktibo, mas mapagmasid, at mag-participate dito sa turning point natin. Dahil hindi kaya, nakikita ko hindi kaya ng national government, kailangan ng local government, kailangan ng ating mga principals, kailangan ng ating mga superintendents, kailangan ng mga stakeholders natin na itong turning point na ito maging reality.
Okay, maraming salamat. I think we have time for some questions. If anybody would like to ask from the floor, may mga katanungan, can you please approach